hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing.
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie. Today I have 8 all new spring DIYs for you using supplies from the Dollar Tree. And my theme today was soft pink flowers and lamb's ear. And I really had a great time putting these together for you. Now the first sign, I'm actually using one of these signs I got on clearance at Target Dollar Spot, but Dollar Tree has the same exact sign, same size and everything. And what I want to do is do like a little sola wood rose, ombre like wall hanging. So I'm going to cut down a piece of cardstock. This is just a regular sheet of the paper, and that sign and the Dollar Tree sign are just a little bit smaller. And what I want to do is take these little wood curl roses from the Dollar Tree. You get 4 in a package. And I want to do like a whole wall of them on that sign. But I also want to spray paint them ombre. And so I don't want the overspray to go on the sign. So I'm going to do it on cardstock first. That way the overspray will just go on the cardstock instead. So I had to kind of see how many was going to fit on here. I did 5 across. And then I thought I could do a 7 down. I ended up only being able to do a 6 down. So I only used a total of 8 packages. I had 10 just in case because I wasn't sure how many I was going to need. And I'm just kind of laying them out to get them ready. And then what I'm going to do is attach these to the cardstock and paint them on that with like the ombre effect. I've never painted these before, but they turned out really cool, so I'll probably do that again. I love these little wood flowers from Dollar Tree. They're so pretty. And the great thing about a lot of these DIYs today is since I'm doing pinks, you could do it for Valentine's Day, but all of them are spring DIYs, so you can leave them up all spring. So that works great. Now, the most challenging part, as you can see, is getting the hot glue to dry to make sure these little flowers are standing straight up and not tipping over. I was trying to do like maybe a couple at a time to make it go a little bit faster. But I just keep gluing down. And, you can like put things next to them to kind of hold it up. But I was just trying to hold it. I don't want like a permanent bond. I just wanted enough of a bond to make these little guys stand up so that I could paint them first. And I'm glad that I did like this cardstock or paper method because it did get lots of overspray on the back. And that would have just not looked as good on the final product. So a little bit of prep, getting you ready for this one for sure. So I'm already on row 5. As you can see, there's no way I'm going to be able to fit 2 more rows in there. So a total of 8 packages is plenty for that size sign. And that sign from the Dollar Tree, they have a couple different finishes of wood of that one. But I actually had the one from the Dollar Spot, so I'm going to use that one today. So we have them all. They're all standing up. Except for this one. Trying to get the glue to dry just enough. I don't want like a permanent bond or anything like that. I just want to be able to paint them. So I'm going to go ahead now that I've got them all attached to cardstock and kind of put them in a box so that we can start spray painting them. I picked up a couple colors of pink spray paint at Lowe's yesterday because I wanted to do like a pink ombre. So what I'm going to do is start with this gloss Mambo pink, I guess it's called, then candy pink, and then more of a white. This is like called Sand Dollar. I didn't really want that bright of a pink, but finding different shades of pink is a little bit challenging, I was noticing, so we're going to make it work. So I'm going to start with like the most bold color, the Mambo pink here at the very top, and I'm just going to simply spray paint the first couple of rows with a little overspray on the 3rd row there. And then I'm going to switch to the candy pink, which is way lighter. And the great thing about using spray paint to ombre is that you naturally get that fade between one to the other from the little bit of overspray. And I kind of did like, 2.5 of the soft pink too. And then we're going to finish it up with like the shade of white. This isn't exactly white, but it's pretty close. Kind of a soft white. And I sprayed the bottom 2 rows with the white. Now I do want that ombre effect a little bit more pink than white. So I did spray again a couple times like the pink there to make sure everything kind of looks good. That slow, gentle transition in color. And then I just speeded up the drying process with my heat gun. It actually went pretty fast. Now we can attach these to the sign. I love this idea. You could do this, on a smaller scale or a larger scale. Just so pretty. And you could do it with, artificial flowers as well. But I really like the look of the little sola roses. I think they're super sweet. So let's go ahead and start attaching these. I'm going to be doing the same thing as I did on the cardstock, hot gluing them one at a time. And you do have to be kind of careful pulling them off. You don't want to break the flowers. And so I'm going to actually start in the middle. It doesn't really matter as long as I'm using like the right row of color. That way I can get my center row centered properly. So I just sit that, and again, as you can see, it does take a while for the hot glue to set up. So it's almost better to kind of put some things, and I'll show you what I ended up using to kind of, stand the flowers up while the hot glue is drying. And then I'm going to start here on the bottom with one of the white roses. And I wanted to kind of do the first middle row first, so I would kind of know my spacing. And as you can see, what I'm using to stand them up are just the little pink finger protectors from Dollar Tree. That worked perfect. They were just the right size and small enough that you can kind of put them wherever needed. So as you can see, I'm going from top, and then I'm also working up from the bottom. And then I have 2 more. I want them to be kind of spaced evenly without like a huge gap, and I think that's going to work fine. And so I just glue those in place as well. Trying to make sure that I have the ombre effect. And then I'm just going to finish it off by gluing all the rest of them. I'm kind of working from the center out. I'm going to go ahead and do all of the hot pink up here. I didn't really want to do that bold of a pink, but really I only had 1 row here that was that bold because I had a lot more of, the mixture between the colors. Like this is kind of turned out like a medium pink, which is great. And those little finger protectors worked perfect for this because I could hot glue them, stand them up with that while that glued, and it actually turned out really sturdy in the end. So I'm going to continue my way down, doing all the colors in the ombre, and I'm just going to leave like that frame, that color. And as you can see, that wood background looks great back there. And if you can see like the back of my paper, how much overspray there was just by a couple passes with that, definitely was the right way to do it. Now I found the best way to pull these off the cardstock was actually just to rip the paper just a little bit, and then you could just cut it off, and it almost gave you more of a flat bottom for these that you could glue down to the sign, and it made them actually a little bit easier to attach. So we're just going to finish up the final few rows here. And you can see that gentle ombre effect with the pink. I love that. I think that's so fun. And I think this is going to be a great little wall hanging for spring. Since it's kind of a firm sign, you could also kind of lean this against something, make it more of a shelf sitter. Haven't decided which way I'm going to use it. I kind of like it like leaning up against something. I think it looks really pretty for spring. And that's all there is to it. So we have the little wood sola. I'm going to go ahead and get all of any of the glue strings. It's really easy just to melt those off with your heat gun. Clean it up and make sure it looks its best. And I love how this turned out. There was definitely a little bit of prep by having to glue it twice, but I'm so glad I did because in the end I got this beautiful wood flower wall hanging. Isn't this so pretty? And the ombre effect, I love that, the different pinks. And the only way I think you probably do that is with spray paint. I don't normally spray paint a lot of things, but I thought to get inside the flowers like that and to get a really cool ombre effect, spray paint was definitely necessary. Okay, our next DIY, I wanted to do a cute little spring wreath. So I'm going to use one of the little wood bead wreaths from the Dollar Tree. These are kind of a medium-sized wreath. They're not super big, but I thought we could make it look really sweet. So we're going to be using some of these soft pink peonies from the Dollar Tree. And I want to do like a total of 3 of these. I love the shade of pink. It's very soft. So I'm just going to take these off. There's different sizes. There's like larger ones like this, but there's also smaller ones too. So I was trying to decide if I wanted to do like 3 large ones or if I wanted to go back and do like a large one in the middle and a small one on each side. And I thought that looked a little bit better. And again, those are all on the same stem. And I'm actually going to do it where the wire comes together down there. That way the top of my wreath looks pretty with all the wood beads and all of that will be hidden. I wanted to kind of iron these out a little bit because you know Dollar Tree flowers can get a little bent and not look their best. But a great trick for this is just to use your hot gun. You can like almost like iron them a little bit, get them to do exactly what you want to do with a little bit of heat, straighten everything out. And so I'm going to do that with all 3 of them, make them look their best since they're going to be displayed on this wreath. And then I'm also going to be adding some Dollar Tree lamb's ear and some of those little pink berries. I thought that'd be really pretty at the bottom of the wreath. And this turned out just so pretty. I love it. This is the lamb's ear that I'm going to use. And I'm going to actually kind of separate the leaves into like individual leaves because I want to like have it kind of gradually going up the sides of the wreath a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull them off. They pull right off on these Dollar Tree stems, so that is really easy. And I'm going to go ahead and start with 8 here. And then these are the little berries. These are actually from the Easter aisle at Dollar Tree right now. They have a slight shininess or glitter, but nothing too obnoxious, so I think this is going to work well. I'm just going to take 2 that are approximately the same size and just pull those off as well. Now, I thought the sturdiest way to do this would be to use some floral wire. So I'm using some floral wire from the Dollar Tree, and I'm actually going to wire all of this to the wreath, and it actually ended up pretty sturdy. I didn't think hot glue was going to do a great job here. And so I just went ahead and wrapped that around the stem of my largest flower, and I actually fed the wire through like the metal circle there at the bottom to secure this. And then I made sure to leave the wire long enough for both sides so that I can use that to wire up. I kind of went behind and I skipped a couple of beads, and then I can go in and wire on my next flower. And once you get started on it, it worked pretty well. I'm not a big fan of using wires for wreaths like this, but I'm glad I did because this is really actually pretty sturdy in the end. So again, I'm going to skip 2 rows of the wood beads, and this is all going to be covered in flowers down here anyway, so you don't really have to worry if your wire is showing there, but I did try to kind of go behind. And then I just wrap that tightly around this one as well, pull it around and wire it in between the wood beads for a nice tight fit. So I think that's all for the flowers. Now we can start on the lamb's ear. They don't really have much of a stem on them. So I'm actually just going to take the wire and wrap it around the end as close as I can get, and then wrap that around as well. What I did was I went on the same row with the first flower, and then or the first leaf, and then I skipped 1 row of the beads, and then I wired on my next. And I'm going to do that like kind of going up the side. I don't want them all like going exactly the same direction and stuff like that. But I want them to kind of like fill it out, kind of look like a swag. Like I want this one to kind of point more to the side and less down. So again, I just wire that. I still have plenty of the wire there where I can just keep kind of working my way up. Now this one didn't want to stay in too well. Didn't get it very tight, so I did fix that one with a little bit of hot glue just to make sure that my leaf stays attached to my wire. Like that. And then I'm going to do another one here, kind of going up as well, and just kind of skipping another row of the wood beads. And I think I actually skipped 2 on this one to kind of, because that leaf was kind of big. So there's plenty of space in between these to display them. And I also attached that one with a little bit of hot glue too, because I wasn't sure about the leaves staying on. And then I'm going to do the same thing here, kind of following the example on the other side. Start with my first leaf on the same one as my flower, and then skipping one, doing another leaf and wiring it to it. By the end of this, I was actually getting pretty good with the wire. So I might have to use that more. I know I usually like hot glue to wreaths, but a lot of times if you're going to be doing anything outside, especially here in Florida, that hot glue does not hold up great outside. Then I skipped 2 for the final one and wired on this leaf as well. I kind of had my wire cut just perfect. I didn't have to cut anything off or anything at the end. And I just wanted to slightly go up on the sides like that with that soft lamb's ear. I absolutely love this stuff. And then I want like the little pink berries kind of peeking out the side on both sides, kind of breaking up some of the leaf as well. And I'm just going to wire that on as well. They kind of have a hole in the piece from where it was on the stem. And so I'm just going to take advantage of that, put my wire straight through that. So this is good and attached. And then take that wire and put it right where I want it, right about here. I decided to change it up, kind of in between the 2 and the 2. So it has a kind of a background of the leaves. And then I just wire that between the wood beads. There's a little bit of room, you know, to wiggle those wood beads around so you can kind of get a tight fit. And I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. Now, if yours doesn't have a hole in the top, like this one didn't have a hole in the top, I just cut a hole in the top because that worked so well for the other side. And did my floral wire through there. And again, I'm going to do it between the 2 and 2 leaves like this. And I'm going to add a few more of the lamb's ear leaves to this to kind of fill it out a little bit more. But this is basically everything that I'm going to wire to it. Because as you can see, it's getting pretty full down there, at least like being wired to the actual wreath. And then I just kind of fluff everything out, make sure everything is covered. I don't really want you to be able to see any of the wire and stuff. And that's why I'm going to add a few more of the leaves to kind of cover that up and just to make it a little bit fuller. So I like grabbed 2 of the ones that were kind of attached like that. And I'm just going to hot glue those kind of on top of the other ones, where that all kind of comes together and you can't see any of the wire that's keeping everything together. I'm going to do this same thing over here. And I just love the look of the soft pink flowers with the lamb's ear. I did this color scheme for one of my Valentine's Day tier trays this year in my kitchen, and I absolutely love it. I think it's so sweet. So it kind of inspired me to do all of the spring DIYs today. Just cleaning up any hot glue, making sure everything looks good. And all we need now is a hanger. I'm just going to cut some twine from the Dollar Tree, kind of find the center of my wood bead wreath. So this will make it hang properly. Just string between the wood beads, and all you got to do is tie a knot. A very simple little wreath hanger, and I love how this turned out. It's so sweet. It's kind of small for a door, so I think I'll hang this probably in my entryway for spring. I have a small wall, like when you first walk in. I think it'll look really pretty there. And this is how it turned out, our little pink flower spring wreath. I just love that combination of those colors together. I think it's so pretty. What do you guys think about my spring wreath? And here is a view from behind. I know a lot of you guys like to take screenshots of these, so I was sure to include those today. Hey guys, I wanted to take a quick moment out of today's video and let you know about my Facebook group. I have it linked below. I would love it if you joined us. I also have Facebook Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest, and my handle is Crafty Beach on YouTube. Okay, back to the DIYs. For the next one, I wanted to do a spring candle. So I picked up one of these little candle holders from the Dollar Tree and a little candle stick. And I thought we could put this all together for a really beautiful spring candle. I want to, again, use the lamb's ear, but I kind of want to do like a lamb's ear garland that wraps around the candle. I thought that would look really pretty for spring. And I love the little pink candlestick, so that goes with our soft pink color. And then I just got an ivory like pillar candle at Dollar Tree. Now I'm cutting all the leaves in individual pieces. I was trying to do small ones, maybe a larger one here and there, whatever will work. But since I'm going to be making my own garland, I don't want it to have much of a stem. I just kind of want it to cascade like around, like if I actually had a small lamb's ear garland. So I just went and trimmed the stems off all of them. I thought that would make more sense. And I'm actually just going to use some twine from the Dollar Tree to build our little DIY vine. Now I just take some hot glue right here on the back of my lamb's ear and glue that on like that. And then I can just kind of alternate which way the leaves go. So I kind of flipped it upside down so I can glue the twine on. And I'm not really measuring. I'm just kind of estimating about where I would want, how full I want my garland to be. And I'm just going to make my own little DIY lamb's ear garland. I thought that would be easier and maybe help it like all stay attached to it as well. And as you can see, I'm kind of alternating sizes, doing like 2 small, 1 large until I go through those. And then I'm going to kind of see if that is enough to kind of go all the way through. I didn't think it was, so I'm going to add just maybe a couple more here of the smaller leaves. And I was doing the smaller ones at the top. So let's see if that's enough to go all the way around. Looks pretty good. Maybe one more here would be perfect. And then I just cut off the twine and we have our little lamb's ear garland. I'm not really going to do anything to the pink candlestick or anything like that, but I do want to decorate this little candle holder. So I'm actually hot gluing the leaves themselves to the glass. I thought that would be easier than trying to glue the twine to it, but the twine I think is going to help everything stay together as well. But I thought it would be a little bit more secure if I hot glue this to the outside. And I want to be able to burn this candle, so I don't really want anything that's going to interfere with that or get in the way. I just kind of want all of this to be on the outside. And I thought it would look really pretty when I light the candle up, being able to see like the leaves wrapped around it. On that soft pink candlestick, and I love how this turned out. It was pretty easy to do. Now, some of my larger leaves were a little too big, so I'm just going to kind of trim those down. I didn't want this one to be like, longer than the candle holder itself. And I also didn't want anything to catch on fire. I had one kind of going up here a little bit too high. So I just trimmed that down to size, kind of made it more a medium size. Pretty easy to get that shape. And then just making sure all of my leaves are attached really well and I've cleaned up any of my strings of hot glue. I'm not going to glue this to it. It fits on there perfectly. That way I'll be able to reuse the candlestick later. And then we can just add our little pillar candle. It fits in there perfectly. It's just a vanilla scent from Dollar Tree, and this is how it turned out, our little spring candle holder. So we didn't really do flowers on this one, but we did do the soft pink. We did do the lamb's ear, and I think it turned out really kind of soft and romantic and sweet. This is it, and I will show it to you lit up as well, so you can kind of see that as well, to kind of see the effect that it gives you, wrapping it in that. And I think it turned out really sweet. I'm glad I decided to DIY my own lamb's ear. This is how it looks lit up. Isn't that cute? Hey guys, if you're enjoying today's video so far, be sure to hit that like button. It always helps. And don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 30,000 subscribers. Okay, our next DIY, I wanted to do a Hello Spring DIY, but I wanted to go with that soft pink theme. So I'm going to be using some of the Dollar Tree wood letters to spell out Hello Spring and a Dollar Tree wood sign. I think that's going to be perfect. So I just turned my letters upside down and put some painter's tape on the back. Just a really easy way to kind of paint these and keep it together. Now I find with these packs from the Dollar Tree, I'm always running out of E's because you get one of every letter in there, and I must use a lot of E's. I wish you could just buy vowels. But what I'm going to do is turn an F and an L into an E, and it actually works out pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and put hello there, add my F and my other part that's going to make our F and E, and we can spell out Hello Spring. I'm going to kind of tape down the end so these stay in place. And I'm going to leave like the sign like that natural color. We're going to be adding those pink flowers over there. So I thought white would be a nice contrast. And so I'm just using a white makeup sponge and some acrylic paint and painting these letters white. I love these wood letters from the Dollar Tree. They can be a little tricky to find. So whenever I find them, I try to stock up on them. But again, I almost wish you could buy them with like consonants or vowels, because I definitely do go through more vowels. I have a lot of consonants in my stash. Now, it did kind of soak the paint up a little bit, and I do want it to be a little bit brighter white, so I did go over mine with a second coat just to kind of make that white pop against the wood and the pink flowers we're going to be adding to the sign. So we can kind of set those aside, let those dry, and start working on this cute little sign. Isn't this so cute? It's already got some wood beads on the top. I'm going to kind of change that up a little bit, but I really like the wood slat sign. I think it's really pretty. It doesn't really have a frame or anything, so it's exactly what I was needing for this project. Now for the top, I'm just going to cut off the little tab, pull this out. I do want to use some wood beads on this, but maybe not this many, and I do want to add like a little bit of spring color to it as well. So I'm going to be using this soft pink color, and I use some of those little hot dog sticks from the Dollar Tree. They're nice and thick. You can pop the wood beads on there and they won't really spin around too much. And I'm just going to paint a total of 4 of them. I think that's going to be plenty to decorate the hanger of this sign. And this sign turned out so pretty. It was so easy to do. So again, I'm just going to do a total of 4. I think any more than that, it's going to be a little bit of overkill. I just wanted a little touch of pink up here to kind of match the pink flowers we're going to add to the sign. Now I do want to leave like the wood part wood, but I do want to add the pink flowers and kind of make it look like a floral background on it as well. And even though I really like the sign, they're not cut super well here in the ridges. So I just went in there with my finger sander and cleaned everything up and made it look really nice so that we could attach the stickers. And these are the little wall stickers from Dollar Tree. You get 6 to a package. It's this really nice soft pink flower, and kind of trying to figure out how I want to set it up. I want them to kind of be peeking in from the corners, maybe 2 of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and peel the sticker. Be very careful when you're peeling these off. They do like to rip a little bit. And like this. And don't worry about having like more of a sticker, because we can always cut this down to size. And I just make sure that there's nothing underneath of it. It goes down super flat, and just stick this to it. The sticker was plenty strong. I didn't have to add any kind of adhesive or Mod Podge or anything like that to the top of it. And then I want another one of the flowers kind of coming down from the opposite corner. So I'm just going to kind of line that up how I think it's going to look pretty. And that's why, you know, I'm going to have the floral background, but I'm also going to have a lot of that wood showing through like that. So I just smooth that one down as well. And then I can just go in with some scissors, give it a quick trim to clean that off. And then I can sand it to get it like an exact fit on there. But scissors works a little bit better here, at least on the initial run of the stickers. You can get it pretty close to the edges of your sign. And that's one reason I did it on this sign instead of one of the framed signs from Dollar Tree, is because I can go straight up here to the edge and it's easy to get a good finish back there. So again, I'm just going to sand the edges to take off any of the excess sticker. to give me a perfect fit, and it just gives me a really beautiful soft pink flower background that we can do our little hello spring word on. I know spring's not here yet, but you know what? I know a lot of you guys are cold. It'll be here soon, I promise. It's been pretty nice here in Florida. I can't complain. It's going to be like 86 in a couple of days, but it kind of keeps going back and forth. Like it'll be hot and then it'll be cool. And it can't seem to make up its mind, but we only get a few cool days a year, so I can't complain. And definitely never cold, so that's good. Now I just cut in between the different slats so that I could use my finger sander to kind of push the sticker down in the crack to kind of give it that texture look that the rest of the sign has, and that gave it a really cool effect. I'm also going to scratch the sticker up slightly with the sandpaper to distress it to kind of give it more of an aged look and less like a perfect sticker. That looks perfect, exactly what I was wanting. So now we can go ahead and start adding our words. So I'm just gonna peel these off. These should be good and dry now. And I can't forget like the remaining part of my E. I had to do that on a previous DIY and it worked out perfectly. So I guess I probably don't use F's near as much as I use E. So that's a quick fix. And I want to kind of do it like on these two inner rows, Hello Spring. It fits really nicely on there. And then the flowers can just be on the top and the bottom sections. So I'm just starting in the center here to glue these on. You can kind of use your lines for reference for how high or low you're putting your letter. And then I just kind of space these out, just kind of whatever looks good to me. The hello had a little bit more room than the spring. The spring is a little bit tighter. But the I think, in the spring is nice and small, so it allowed me to fit everything in there. So I just glued both my pieces of my E together, kind of like that. And I did have a small crack in that. I do go back and add a little spackle to that here to kind of fill that in so you can't notice that. It really makes it look like an E. Just a tiny bit is all it's going to take. And then I can always just sand that down just to fill it up because it wasn't perfect. And then we can do the same thing here with spring. Again, I'm going to kind of start on the letters in the middle a little bit to make sure everything is centered. And I have to go a little bit tighter, but everything fit perfectly well here too. Since I already have that floral background on there, I'm not really going to add any more flowers or anything to this. I think this just turned out really sweet. I think I'm going to be displaying the spring sign in my kitchen. And for now, it's definitely going to match my Valentine's Day tier tray that I did with this theme. But I love the fact that I can just leave it up for the entire spring. Just cleaning up, I want to make sure I don't have any hot glue. That hot glue gun I use does squirt out a lot of hot glue, so it can be a little bit too much sometimes. And then I just sanded down my spackle there as well. Now we're going to add the beads that we painted pink. I just wanted to do like 2 on each side. So I left one side of the hanger attached, and then I can just reattach the other side once we add the beads back to it. And I'm glad I decided to paint them. I think it added another little fun element to this DIY. I'm just going to go ahead and tie a knot here on the twine and use my staple gun to re-staple that on. Quick and easy, a little bit of pink there on each side. It did make my hanger a little bit shorter, but I think it's still plenty large enough. And this is how it turned out, our little Hello Spring sign. This was one of my favorites from today. I just think it turned out so pretty and looks so spring. Those little flower stickers from the Dollar Tree, they have lots of different sizes and styles. Lots of pink though. I think any of them would look really great. We're going to be using one of the larger ones in another DIY a little bit later today. Now this one's going to be quick and easy. I picked up a little spring gnome from the Dollar Tree in pink. It's already super cute, and I thought we could add flowers to it to make it a little spring gnome. Something small, but give a little touch of spring to wherever you want to decorate it. And I think I might pair this like with the candle that I did. I think they go really cute together. So these are little paper flowers that I found at Dollar Tree. They come in like 3 different colors of pink. There's like a soft pink, a hot pink, like a medium pink. And they're all a little bit different, than the shade on the hat. So I'm just kind of alternating colors and I am just hot gluing those to the hat. Basically, that is it. I don't really need to do anything else. I'm kind of like, making it kind of random and trying to alternate the colors. And I'm really only going to put enough of them on there so that you can see it from the front, you can see it from the sides. I don't really need to do the back because you're not going to be able to see it back there. But if you were, you could totally do all over. I think this would be super cute like on a tier tray or something like that for spring as well. Just a quick, easy way to make this little spring gnome look even more spring. Isn't that so cute? And couldn't be any easier than that. This is how it turned out, our little spring flower gnome. I thought about painting his nose like a green color, but I decided not to because I wanted to keep that glossy sheen on it. It's really pretty already. So just a quick, easy DIY because some of these were a little time extensive today to complete, but that one was super easy. Hey guys, I wanted to take a quick moment to let you know about memberships on my channel. For $4.99 a month, you're going to get early ad-free access to my videos. And it's a quick, easy way for you to support me here on YouTube. All you have to do is hit the join button under this video. Okay, next DIY. I picked up some of this leaf wallpaper. I've never used this before at Dollar Tree. And then I also got some of these pink flower floral tiles. I actually got these at Target Dollar Spot. They were $5 for both of them. Honestly, when I bought them, I thought they were $3 for both of them because that is a little bit pricey, but they are pretty. I think the price on these have definitely went up because I know I've bought those for like $3 before, like a similar one. And then I picked up 2 pieces of craft wood from the Dollar Tree. I love this size because it works great to make like a larger sign. You can put them together. It's nice and thick. It's not bowed or anything like that. The only thing is it's a little rough sometimes, so I'm just going to give it a quick sand on some of the uneven edges. And then I'm just going to simply glue those together to make a square sign that we can kind of put all these pieces together. What I wanted to do was have like the leaf background with like a pink floral monogram. I thought that'd be kind of a fun way to use those little floral tiles. So I just do a bead of hot glue on one of the little pieces of craft wood and put the 2 pieces together like that, nice and sturdy. And then we can decorate this. I thought this would be the perfect background because it's giving me like that soft green leaf background. And it is the perfect size here. All I have to do is kind of lay my sign here on the back of it, use an ink pen, and I can kind of just draw exactly where I need to cut. Easy peasy, and cover the back of it. No painting or anything like that involved. And it gave me a really nice, leaf background, which I was kind of trying to do a lot of leaf projects and pink flower projects. So I thought the pink flowers would look really cute on there. So we're just going to peel and stick this wallpaper to the sign, kind of lining it up. And it fit on there just perfectly. I do use my little finger sander here to get any tiny little slivers that might be, but I got it on there actually pretty good. I'm also going to use my sandpaper to rough it up. I do want it to look a little older and distressed and a little less perfect. Now I'm going to attach a hanger to this, but I'm not sure. I think I actually might use this as a leaning sign, but I always save these little hangers off the Dollar Tree signs that I use all the time in case I need them when I don't use them on the DIY I'm making. So I just saved one and I'm just going to screw that hanger to the back of it if I choose to hang it. And as you can see, the pink floral tile is just about the same size. So I'm definitely going to have to cut that down a little bit. It's got like this great cage on the back So I thought I would take advantage of that. Each row has flowers attached to it. So I'm kind of trying to map out like the center and then do the top. I wanted to do the monogram for our last name, which is a T. So that's going to be pretty easy. Just trying to make sure exactly how this was set up. And I try to do 3 rows of each. Then I'm just going to carefully snip the cage from the back, trying to make sure that I don't cut any of the flowers to cut my shape down. Now, my letter ended up being a little bit chunkier than I wanted, so I do cut it down a little bit more, but this is kind of initially where I started. I was trying to think of things I could do with this. I've used these kind of as backgrounds before, but I've never really kind of customized them like this, and I thought this would be fun. There is like an extra row there at the bottom that you saw that I cut off. That's not really attached to anything, so I just cut that off to kind of get it out of the way. And then we're going to cut the other side of the T down that I had just kind of marked out with a Sharpie. And I'm going to go ahead and cut my extra row of plastic off. That's not really attached to anything. They have that on all the sides, just to kind of make sure you can't see that from the front. That's when I was like, it's a little chunkier than I want, so let's make it actually like a 2-row instead of a 3-row letter. So I just cut 1 row off, and then I'm going to cut 1 row off the top as well. And I also need to kind of cut 1 row off to even it out here, so everything lines up. Now, T is a pretty easy letter. I'm thinking like L. There's some letters that are definitely going to be easier than others to cut out with these floral tiles. But you can always do flowers and kind of do your own letter too. But I thought this would be a quick, easy way to do it since they're all attached together, right? So I want to display it that with like the leaves on the background like that. I thought that the green was a little bit brighter than I wanted though. And so I thought I would just go ahead and distress it a little bit more to scratch it up. You could also, distress with paint if you wanted. This is a quick, easy way to kind of scratch it up, kind of bring more of the white from the back through some of the leaves. And just make sure I clean up any of the dust from the paper. And just wanted a little bit of a softer background there for my little floral monogram. And I liked that effect so much that I wanted to rough it up a little bit more. I had to do it definitely now before I attach my letter. It'll be too late. And again, you could kind of distress it with white if you wanted yours to be a little bit. I just wanted it not to compete with my flower letter as much. I wanted my floral monogram to be able to stand out a little bit. So I'm just going to add hot glue to the back of the cage on the floral tile, kind of everywhere I could, and line that up and just stick that to my sign. Really fun idea for a little spring sign. Using those floral tiles from the dollar spot, and I think that turned out really cute. If you wanted to do your own, you could probably do like some poster board and kind of sketch out, your letter and use like some small pink flowers from the Dollar Tree. They do have a flower that's very similar to this, and kind of just glue it on and kind of make your own if you wanted to do that. That would be pretty easy to do as well. But here it is, my little spring flower tea. It's definitely unique. I think it turned out kind of cool. Okay, next DIY. I want to DIY one of these little wood rounds from the Dollar Tree. Again, with some of those beautiful pink floral stickers from the Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove my hanger. And I want to frame it out too. So I'm going to be framing it out with some of those cube wood beads from the Dollar Tree. I think these are so cool. And since they lay flat, they do a great job of like framing out projects like that from the Dollar Tree. So this is the color I'm going to use of acrylic paint. It's called Pink Polish. And as you can tell, I'm not going for maximum coverage on this. I actually just kind of want to stain it. So I'm not going to use too much paint. Just enough to kind of give me a pink stain. After I put that on there, I just go over it with a wet baby wipe. And that way the wood grain of that sign shows through, so I'm not really covering that up. And it makes it look a little bit more older and vintage, which is definitely what I was going for on this project. I wanted to do a really pretty spring floral sign. So I just stained it, gave it a quick dry. It was a little bit rough, so I gave it a little bit of a sand to get some of that fuzziness off the wood. And then this is the flower sticker we're going to use. This is a very soft pink, which is one reason why I chose to stain the sign like kind of a little bit more of a candy pink, because I want it to be a little bit of a contrast, but definitely go with my pink floral theme that we've been using today. So I kind of like it going straight up and down like that. It's going to fit nicely. I'm going to carefully pull this off. I don't want to rip any of it. And peel and stick this to my sign. If you're going to stain or paint your sign, make sure it's good and dry. Otherwise, it's not going to stick very well. I just go ahead and flatten that out. As you can see, I kind of centered it on the wood ring, but then I'm going to leave like the wood cubes natural color like that. I thought that'd be a nice contrast against the soft pink shades. But I do want to make sure that it stays down. So I'm just going to sand it a little bit just to rough up again the sticker. I kind of like that distressed look. These don't sand as well as the other ones. They kind of do like a dotted aging, but it's still kind of made it look old. But I do want to seal this project because I wasn't certain this was going to stay on there really well. So I just went over the top of all of it with some Mod Podge from the Dollar Tree and sealed this sign before we go in and frame it out with the wood beads. And then I thought it needed even a little bit more distressing, so then I just went in with just some white and like a chunky brush, and if I distressed a little bit too much on it, I would just go over it with a baby wipe, kind of blending it all together. Again, I was going very kind of like old school, like Victorian vibes with this spring DIY, so I definitely wanted it to look vintage. So I just keep kind of distressing. I kind of try to distress it similar to the way the sticker distressed as well until I got the perfect level of distress. And then I'm going to add the wood bead garland to the front of it. Now they kind of wind this around so it doesn't fall off, but that also keeps the wood beads from moving side to side and it kind of makes it get in the way. I'm also going to reattach the hanger, but this time I'm going to go from the back to the front, tie a knot, cut off the little plastic part. That way it's going to hang flatter against my wall and it's not really going to be able to see the little hangers there on the front too much, just a small knot. So I do need to untangle this end to kind of make this work, and it's a little bit better to do this at the beginning so that all of your wood cubes are free flowing. You just kind of have to string that out, and I'm gonna need two to go around this entire wood round because even though these are super cute from the Dollar Tree, they're not super long. And I just go ahead and open at least one end of this one. I probably don't need the other end. And we can start gluing this on. What this is going to do is take this flat sign and make it so much chunkier. And it's just a really easy way to kind of provide a frame for an abnormal shape like this. Like something I'm definitely not going to be able to have a frame for. And I like the added depth. It really helps. So I'm just kind of doing like a quarter at a time and gluing all of my wood beads to it, but leaving them strung together because that's going to kind of help guide it, keep them all attached to each other. But I am trying to glue down every single one, just trying to make sure that I don't overlap the edges too much so I still get that perfect like circular shape. And this is about how far one package will go. So I'm just going to tie the twine to my next package. And I can just push my wood beads up that and continue going with the same pattern all the way around. And I do like the contrast of the natural wood. I'm going to be adding another accent that color too that kind of ties it all together. And I'm glad that I decided not to paint or stain this part of it because I think it turned out really cool. And actually fit perfectly here at the end. You never really know with spacing. And so I just glued that, tied both my strings together, making sure all the wood beads are then tied together. Now this is what I'm going to use to finish it off. This is a vase filler that I found at Target. It's back where the driftwood was at Target. And I have bad news about the driftwood. At least at my Target, they quit carrying it. I have no idea why. It's one of my favorite products in the vase fillers. But these little paper flowers are kind of cool. They're kind of like a paper, kind of like foamy feel. Not really sure what these are made out of. But I chose like a larger one and two small ones. And they're like the same color as the unfinished wood on the frame. So I thought this would tie it in nicely and give another little floral touch. And kind of a larger, more substantial piece as well to make it thicker. So I'm just going to start here with the larger flower, gluing that down, and then glue a smaller flower on each side, just kind of making it kind of over here on the bottom right to kind of give it kind of a wreath feel there as well. And this is how it turned out. I think it's really sweet and romantic looking. Our little pink floral wall hanging for spring. It definitely has that aged look that I was going for. And I'm a big fan of those flowers from Target. I think they're so pretty. And they add another little fun spring element to this DIY sign. Just an idea of something that you can do with those little floral stickers from the Dollar Tree. They're really fun to craft with. Okay, the next DIY, I picked up some soft pink roses from the Dollar Tree, some more lamb's ear, and a little vase from the Dollar Tree as well. I thought we could make it a little bit better than just the clear glass vase though, so I'm actually going to show you how easy it is to frost glass. I'm going to go ahead and clean it up, and we're going to be using that Rust-Oleum frosted glass spray paint. I think I actually picked this up at Amazon, but I know I've seen it at Walmart before. I'll try to see if I have this linked in my shop. I'm pretty sure I got this on Amazon. And it just goes on like spray paint. It's so easy to do. So I just went ahead and put my glass in my box again to kind of prevent overspray. I'm going to try to do this without getting anything on my camera. I hope. So I just went over the bottom, went over all of it with one coat, and then went in with my heat gun to dry it. As you can see, as it dries, it gets that beautiful like frosted finish, which is just going to make it look so much more high-end. You're not going to be able to see the stems in there from the Dollar Tree, which kind of look a little bit cheaper on Dollar Tree florals. And I had pretty good coverage. There was one side that wasn't near as frosted as the other, so I am going to touch up that side with another coat just to make sure that I had even coverage. But again, really easy to do, and one coat's really all you need. I probably didn't get the back of it as good as I needed, so I just kind of spray painted another little layer of that, and that looks really good. I'm going to just kind of sand off whatever was dripped on the top so it'll give it a nice clean look, but I love the frosted look. What do you guys think about that? Now these are the florals we're going to use again. I picked up 2 bunches of the pink roses. I don't like the greenery on them though. I think that looks really cheap. So what I'm doing is just pulling my roses off and pulling off the tags and all of the leaves on here, just leaving the pink roses. I'm going to try to replace all the greenery with actually some of the Dollar Tree lamb's ear so I can still have like that soft pink and light green like fuzzy leaf thing that we've been doing today, kind of the vibe for these DIYs, and I think it turned out really pretty. As you can see, that lamb's ear just looks so much better than these green leaves on the roses for sure. So I'm going to need both of this for sure because I want it to be a nice, tall, like full floral arrangement. So I'm going to cut one of them off, like 2, there's little notches on there, so 2 notches to kind of make a shorter bundle, and then the other one I'm only going to cut one off. This is going to be kind of my longer part that can be sticking up a little bit higher. And I just cut my wires down with some of those floral scissors from the Dollar Tree, where I can kind of put them all together like that. It's going to give me a really nice spring bouquet. And then for the lamb's ear, I picked up these kind of longer ones that have like 2 branches on them. And I'm just going to cut the 2 branches off. They're going to be like, one's going to be a little bit longer than the other, but again, perfect lengths for what I'm using for this DIY. And since I frosted the glass, you're not really going to be able to see the stems inside, and I don't really have to put anything in there because it's all going to kind of just sit nicely down there. So I'm just kind of grouping them all together. I did the shorter flowers first with all of the new greenery, and then I can go in there with my taller flowers right from the top and put those down inside. And then it's just a matter of kind of arranging them, making sure that the leaves and the flowers look symmetrical, look their very best. And I'm so glad I decided to replace the greenery in these because these soft colors are definitely my vibe for the spring for sure. I thought about adding something to the vase, but I kind of like the simplicity of it. And I think this is so pretty for spring. And again, it is pink roses, so it'd be perfect for Valentine's Day too. So you could put it up early as well. This is how mine turned out. And I really love that frosted technique. It just really takes that cheap $1.25 vase and makes it look way more high end. What do you guys think? I think it turned out really beautiful. Okay, you've made it all the way to the final reveal. I hope you enjoyed these 8 DIYs today. Be sure to comment below your favorite DIY or just come say hello in the comments. I always love hearing from you. Don't forget to like the video and please subscribe. Enjoy the final reveal.
Just close your eyes and let them rest. I know it's hard to fall asleep, but do your best. 'Cause there's a place that I go to when I want to hide from all the shades of blue. 'Cause at times I think of leaving, my mind takes me back to fall, when the snow begins to sing goodnight to warm. Just feel the wind. If you look close, you see the lilies dance and how they slowly grow. I'm counting years as they go by. Now all the lilies gone and days is brought to life. 'Cause at times I think of leaving, my mind takes me back to fall, when the snow begins to sing goodnight to warm. But I will never leave your side. You're the reason to all my pride. Never wither and runs dry, and your roses are my guides. Goodbye, my friend, our love
you so much for watching. I also want to give a huge shout out to all of my Crafty Beach Fun members for supporting my channel here on YouTube. Thank you so much to Karen O'Haron, Pamela Bergeron, I Am Mojo Jojo, Melinda Elizabeth, Jamie Job, Susan Edmonds, Carrie R., Tracy Knight, Nancy Wunner, Julie Miller, Tammy Coates, Janae Farrington, Pamelia Wren, Maria Grace, Donna Schreiner, Sandy C., and our newest member, Iris Cornelius. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. It means so much to me. If you'd like to watch more DIYs, YouTube thinks that you might enjoy this video right here. Happy crafting, everyone. Spring will be here before you know it.